Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to one and all. Welcome back to another lecture of OCM, and we are on chapter number 4, business services, and we have studied about various business services like insurance, communication, transport, and banking. We are on the most important business service, that is banking. So to give it a quick glance, what do you mean by banking? Or what do you mean specifically by a bank? It is a financial institution which deals with deposits and advances and other related services. Yeah, yeah. What is the basic purpose of banking? Taking advances and granting loans. Basic service that a bank provide to any individual is getting their deposits, is saving their money in their bank account and giving them their money back whenever they require it. So basically banking in India, banking is any banks are any company which transacts the business of banking, and by that I mean what accepting for the purpose of lending or investment of deposit of money from public, repayable on demand or otherwise. Okay, whenever a customer deposits money in a bank, that is bank is accepting deposits, and whenever the person demands the money back, that is withdrawal, that is the person is withdrawing the money back. So the basic purpose of banking is accepting deposit for the purpose of lending. Banks accept deposit from general public, invest it in business, earns profit and gives interest to the account holders. Your money is safe with the bank and you are also getting constant returns in the forms of interest. Okay, so banking is very important for any business organization to have an efficient and smooth working of finance. Today, in the previous lecture, we have studied what are the various types of banks. We have studied that there are commercial banks, there are central bank, there is exchange banks, there is industrial bank, that there is specialized banks, like specialized bank which are made specifically for certain purposes like SIDBI, NABARD, EXIM. Then exchange banks are made for foreign exchange dealing. Then central bank is the apex bank of any country. Like India, we have Reserve Bank of India. It is the monetary authority of the country, and every other bank looks up to Reserve Bank of India for its transactions and rules and regulations. One very important type of bank which we have studied in the previous lecture is types of is commercial bank. What do you mean by commercial bank? Commercial bank is any bank that we deal with in our day-to-day life. Commercial banks are the banks which take money from people, accepts deposits and give them loans and advances and helps them facilitate their business, run their business efficiently. Various types of commercial banks are HDFC Bank or etc. Okay, then today we'll be studying in detail about the various functions of commercial bank. Because commercial bank is the most important type of bank, we are going to study it in detail. There are two main functions of commercial bank: primary function and secondary function. Primary, by the word itself we understand primary means very basic, very starting. The very main purpose of any commercial bank is accepting deposit and granting loans and advances. What do you mean by accepting deposit? Accepting deposit means accepting money from the people. When you are going to a bank and depositing your money in your bank, your bank is actually accepting deposit from you and granting loans, providing loans and advances whenever a customer requires money. This is the basic: taking money and giving money. What are the secondary functions? Which they are classified into two: agency function and utility functions. Bank act does not only act as a dealer of money, taking money and giving money, but it also act as an agent to the customers and get their bills paid, get their phone bills paid, electricity bill paid, get their shares bought and sold. Every other function, every other facility that a bank provide comes under secondary functions, which we'll be studying in detail later. Today, in today's lecture, we'll be studying about the primary functions of commercial bank. Primary functions of commercial bank are known as core banking functions. Core means main, central. Core of anything means center of anything. So central function, main function, apex function of commercial bank is accepting deposit and granting loans. What do you mean by accepting deposit? I've said it 10 times. Now again, commercial banks collect deposit from individuals and organizations. The deposits can be classified into two types: time deposit and demand. This we know that commercial banks collect deposit from people and organization. They have a separate account for separate organization and individuals, wherein the individual and the organizations come and deposit money. But this also have types. There are two main types of accepting deposits: time deposits and demand deposit. Demand Time deposit. Time, by the name itself, it is for a specific period of time. That means if you are making time deposit, your money will be deposited into the bank for a specific assured period of time. You cannot withdraw your money before that specific time period is completed. So time deposit is again classified into two types: fixed deposit and recurring deposit. Fixed deposit, fixed fixed and time deposit includes fixed deposit, right? So it is basically a deposit which is made for a fixed period of time. Fixed deposit account is an account where fixed amount is kept for fixed period of time, bearing fixed interest rate. Everything is fixed here. What is fixed? Your amount is fixed. Say 5 lakh, I am depositing 5 lakh rupees. Amount is fixed, not fluctuating. Then I am depositing it for 5 years. The period of deposit is also fixed, 5 years, and I am going to bear an interest of 15% on my 5 lakh rupees for 5 years, after 5 years. So this is also fixed. So in case of fixed deposit, the time period of deposit, time of withdrawal, amount of deposit and rate of interest, everything is fixed. It is the rate of interest in case of fixed deposit is more as compared to any other bank account and varies with deposit period. If you are depositing for 2 years, the rate of interest will be slightly low if as compared to 5 years fixed deposit. Why? Because when you are depositing your money for 5 years, you are not going to ask your money for 5 years, and your bank can utilize your money for 5 long years. That is why they give you more interest, so that customers are attracted towards taking a higher time period fixed deposit. Though the name suggests that it is a fixed deposit account, but there are certain exceptions. If you are in need of money, you can withdraw your money before 5 years or specific period of time, but the rate of interest will be reduced. There is no hard and fast rule that you can not never remove that money before 5 years. No, because it is your money, bank is using your money, and you have the right to demand it back in case of necessity. So we usually hear that people break their FDs. This is what it is. That means I have made an FD for 5 years for my child's education, but right now my child is not well, or my wife is not well, or any other person is not well. So I'm in extreme need of money, so I'll break my fixed deposit and take the money from the bank. The bank will give me the money back, but the rate of interest which was fixed earlier will be reduced. Okay, so this is what fixed deposit is when you deposit your money for a fixed period of time, a fixed amount of money with a fixed rate of interest. Recurring deposit, recurring by the name itself it suggests, recurring means it happens again and again, it recurs, it does not stays constant. That means you can deposit into the bank after certain intervals. Okay, like every month or say every year you are depositing 1 lakh rupees in bank account. You are not depositing once. In fixed deposit I am depositing only once, but in recurring deposit I am giving bank my money after regular intervals. Recurring deposit, it is operated by salaried persons and businessmen having regular income. A certain fixed sum of money is deposited into the account every month. See, I just said, like, you deposit your money every month. I am getting my salary every month. Out of that, I am depositing half of my salary into the bank in my recurring deposit account. Withdrawal of accumulated amount along with interest is paid after the maturity date. Here also there is a maturity date, like 5 years, 3 years, 7 years. I will be depositing money every month, but I will be able to remove that money after 3 years, because that is my specified time date of maturity. Okay, rate of interest is considerably lower as to fixed deposit. It is similar, actually it is similar to fixed deposit account, but slight lower. Separate passbook is provided to know the position of recurring deposit account. Yes, exactly, you do not need a passbook in case of fixed deposit account, because passbook is a book wherein you make you get all the entries, how much money deposited, how much money withdrawn. But in fixed deposit there is only once a deposit is done and once withdrawal is done, so there is no need of passbook. But in case of recurring deposit, you are depositing money every month, so there should be a record of it. So that is why the bank provides you with a separate passbook, so that you can keep a record of your recurring deposit account. Okay, so is it clear? Time deposit related to time, either fixed or recurring. You either deposit your money once in fixed deposit account and withdraw it once, or you make timely deposits, recurring deposits, and withdraw it at the time of maturity. That is it. Now, what is the second thing that we are going to study today? The demand deposit. Out of deposits, now demand means on customer's demand. Whenever the customer wants the money back, they are allowed to withdraw the money back out of their account as per their wish. This is known as demand deposit. Under fixed deposit, it was not demand deposit. You cannot go every day and say, I want 100 rupees from my account. But in case of demand deposit, you can go every day and ask for 100 rupees from your bank account, and the bank will have to pay you 100 rupees every day if you have a current account. Okay, demand deposits are those which are repaid to customers whenever they demand. That means money can be withdrawn as per the customer's wish through withdrawal slips. How can you remove that money? By slip, filling up a slip, or making a check, or slashing a ATM card, or you can also do online transfer. What are the various types of demand deposit? The very first basic type of demand deposit is saving account. Saving account, it is generally an account which is maintained by people which helps the people to inculcate the habit of saving among themselves. Like, I am a salaried person and I want to save my money, but at the end of the month I don't have any savings because I spend all my money. So what will I do? I'll go to the bank and open up a saving account, and by that I mean that I am going to deposit my money every month. Savings will be done every month. It is generally operated by those who earn a regular and fixed income such as salary. I just said the main aim is to inculcate the habit of savings. These deposit accounts are meant for the purpose of maximum savings. There are restrictions on withdrawal limits. This is important. How will you inculcate the habit of saving when there will be restriction on withdrawal? I hope it is very clear until now. What do you mean by deposit and what do you mean by withdrawal? Deposit mean to save money in bank, to put money in your bank account, and withdrawal means to remove money from your bank account. So under saving bank account, an individual, if I have a saving bank account, I will deposit a part of my salary every month, but I am not able to withdraw that money every month or every day. There is certain restrictions that you can only withdraw money after 2 months or 3 months. So this will help me to inculcate the habit of savings. Like for example, okay, like for example, I am saving 5000 rupees every month. I am depositing 5000 rupees in my bank account every month. If there is no restriction on withdrawal, the money which I will be depositing, I can remove it anytime. If I go out for shopping and I see a very beautiful dress and I feel, oh, my bank account have 5000 rupees, let's buy this dress. That is possible. So this will not help me save money. That is the reason why there is a restriction on withdrawal, because the purpose of this account is to inculcate the habit of saving. Like now, if I'll go for shopping and I'll see a very pretty dress of 5000 rupees, I'll go to the bank and ask for my money. The bank will say no, because I have restriction. I have deposited money this month, I cannot withdraw it this month. So now I'll delay the purchase of that dress, and then this will help me to save money and reduce my spending. Okay, understood? These accounts carry low interest rates as compared to time deposits, and interest is credited monthly, quarterly, half yearly, and yearly basis on this account as per the rules and regulations of the banks and your terms and conditions. Either you will be getting interest every month or quarterly or half yearly or yearly basis. Okay, what is the second type of account that we are going to what is the second type what is the second type of account that we are going to study? It is current account. Current account, this account is operated by business firms and other commercial organizations such as hospitals, educational institutions, etc., who have regular banking transactions. In this account, there is no restriction on deposits and withdrawals of amount. No interest is paid by the bank on this account. Okay, what do you mean by current account? Current account is operated by businessmen and hospitals or other organizations, commercial organizations or business organizations, which requires money on day to day basis. That means if I am a business organization, I cannot open a fixed deposit account or a saving account, because I will need money at any time and at any point, and I will get money at any time and any point. So there is a risk of saving it at home or business. So what will I do? I will open up a current account. There is no limit on withdrawal, there is no limit on deposit. I can deposit 10 times in a day. If I get money from if I get money from one customer, I can go to the bank and put it in my current account. Then in the evening I get another money, then I'll go and again deposit money. Also, if I need to give one of my creditor some money, I'll be giving it at any time, at any point from my current account. There is no restrictions on withdrawal and deposit, but there is no interest associated with this account. Why? Because bank is not able to use your money. Banks provide you interest on money which banks utilize or bank mobilize. Here the bank is not able to mobilize your fund. The bank is only providing you services. So the interest rate, so there is no interest paid on this account. But this account is also associated with overdraft facility. Now, what is overdraft facility? Let us study in detail what do you mean by overdraft facility. This you're going to study in the second functions of commercial bank also. But what do you mean by overdraft facility? It is a kind of short term loan that a bank gives to a current account holder. Okay, if I am a current account holder and I have 10,000 rupees in my account and I want to withdraw 11,000 rupees, bank will give me 1,000 rupees overdraft facility. And whenever I'll be depositing money back, this 1,000 rupees will be reduced. Okay, so what is a current account? A current account is an account which is established and operated by businessmen and commercial organizations such as hospitals, educational institutions, etc., who have regular banking transactions, who have to deposit a number of times, who have to withdraw a number of times, because there is no restriction on withdrawal and deposit of amount, and also there is no interest rate, but it comes with an overdraft facility. Okay, then these were types of deposit. The first function of commercial bank was accepting deposit. There are two types of deposit: time deposit and demand deposit. Time is related to time, wherein we have studied fixed and recurring, and in demand deposit we have studied two types of account: saving account and current account. Now we'll come to the second part of commercial banks, functions of commercial bank. What is it? Granting loans and advances. Until now we studied that bank is only taking money. Now we'll study that banks provide you with customers with money. Banks grant loans and advances to business firms and others who are in need of bank funds. The loans are provided for longer period of time, from 1 year and more. If a bank is giving you money to be utilized for more than 1 year, it is a loan. But advances are for shorter periods, like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, until 1 year. Okay, loans. What do you mean by loans? Commercial banks provide loans to businessmen and other financial institutions, wherein the businessmen and other institutions can borrow money from the bank and use the entire amount of money sanctioned, or it can withdraw it in installments as per the requirements. Like for example, if I have applied for a loan of 10,000 rupees, the bank will give me an entire 10,000 rupees in my bank account, and it is up to me. Either I can use this entire 10,000 at once, withdraw it, or I can take 5,000 twice in installments as per my requirements. Once the bank has given me the loan, interest is chargeable on the entire amount of loan, whether I use it or not. Maybe there will be situations where I'll be sanctioning loan from the bank, but I won't be using it. It will be in my bank account only, but the loan has been sanctioned, so interest has been charged on that amount sanctions. There are various types of loans, 3 types of loans: short term loan, medium term loan, and long term loan. Short term loans are for a period of 1 year, up to the period of 1 year, to meet working capital requirements of the borrower. If I am in a business organization, I require working capital. Working capital is current assets and liabilities. So working capital means the capital which is required for the working of an organization from day to day working. So for that I'll go for a short term loan up to 1 year. Okay, medium term loans are for a period of 1 year to 5 years. Why is it required? Either for meeting working capital or for fixed capital. Fixed capital means I am investing this money permanently in my business. I require to buy a machinery, so I am taking loan from the bank and I am installing that machinery in my banks. This is fixed capital. It will be used for more than 1 year, or I can use that money. Like for example, I am taking a loan of 1 lakh rupees and I am installing one machinery of 70,000 rupees. Still 30,000 rupees are left in my bank account out of that loan. This 30,000 can be used for working capital requirements of my business out of the loan. So medium term loans range from 1 year to 5 years, and it can be used for both working and fixed capital. Long term loans are for a period of 5 years or more to meet the long term capital requirement of the borrower. If I am in need of money for more than 5 years for a very big amount, I'll go for a long term loan. Okay, now coming to advances, we have already studied that loans are for longer period and advances are for shorter period. The shortest loan is up to 1 year, and advances are for few months, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month. No, actually it starts from 4 months. Advances are for 4 months or above until 1 year. Advances are small term funds provided to businessmen to satisfy different financial requirements of the business. These are as follows. First type of advance is cash credit. If I am a current account holder, I can avail the facility of cash credit. The cash credit advances are provided to current account and saving account holders. It provides working capital for longer period of time. Interest rate is higher on cash credit account. Separate cash credit account has to be maintained by the borrower. Now understand this. I am a current account holder or a saving account holder in a bank. I am applying for cash credit. That means I'll have to open a separate cash credit account wherein the bank will deposit, for example, 10,000 rupees. Now interest is chargeable on this 10,000 rupees. Either I use this 10,000 rupees or not. Actually, it is not for a very big amount. For example, let's take it 5,000 rupees. If I have current, I'll tell you why it is maintained. Because if my current account fails to fulfill my requirements, I'll have a backup. I'll have certain amount backed up in my CC account. Okay, if current account I said n number of time you can deposit, n number of time you can withdraw. I am at times in my current account there are lakhs of rupees, but at times I have withdrawn the entire amount and there is no money left in my current account. So if there is a creditor standing outside requiring money, where will it come from? So I'll have a cash credit from the bank. I'll ask the bank to give me cash credit and I'll give that money from the cash credit to my borrower, to my customer or creditor. Okay. Then second is discounting of bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument. We have already studied it in 11th standard and we'll be studying in very detail in BK in this year also. Bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument wherein one person agrees to pay to another person a sum of amount after a specific period of time. So what do you mean by discounting of bill of exchange? For example, there are two parties, A and B. They are coming into business. A sold goods to B. Then B is entitled to pay certain money to A. Okay? If I am buying a motorcycle, I have to pay 50,000 rupees to the motorcycle vendor. So now I don't have money. So what do? I make a bill of exchange and I write that I will pay 50,000 rupees after 3 months to SK Motors. That's it. This is a bill of exchange. It's duly stamped and signed by me and the vendor both. Now, what happens? SK Motors is in need of money. So SK Motors will go to their bank and they'll ask their bank that I have a bill of exchange of 50,000 rupees which is payable after 3 months, but I require the money today. So bank is known for giving you money, so the bank will discount your bill of exchange and give you money today itself after deducting certain amount. That is why it is called discounting bill of exchange. What will your bank say? It's okay. You want your money in hand, we will give you 45,000 rupees in hand right now today. You do not have to wait for 3 long months to get 50,000 rupees. So SK Motors will be ready to get the money because they are in need of money today and they are okay with the discount. So now what is bank doing? After 3 months, bank will come to me and ask that you have a bill of exchange in the name of SK Motors, and then you have to give your money. So now I'll be giving the money to the bank of SK Motors. So what function did bank play here? Bank played the function of discounting bill of exchange by giving money to the person owning the bill of exchange at the time, and after maturity receiving it from the person who is entitled to pay. Okay, on the drawer of the bill of exchange or beneficiary can discount the bill with the bank and obtain an advance, right? uh, the SK Motor was the drawer of the bill. They went to the bank and they obtained the money as an advance after deducting certain discount. So on due date, the bank will recover the amount from the drawee, that is me. Okay. And the last type of advance is overdraft, which we studied in current account also, but we'll study in more detail here. This facility is offered only to current account holder. I am making it sure to make you understand that it is available only to current account holders and not to any other account holder. The period can vary from 50 days to 60 days. Interest is charged on actual amount withdrawn. The difference between CC and overdraft is this only, that under cash credit the interest is charged on the entire amount, but under overdraft facility the interest is charged only on the amount withdrawn. Now understand what do you mean by overdraft facility. I am a current account holder. I am depositing money every day and I am withdrawing money every day. At times there will be times when I will be having less money, like for example I am issuing checks to people, 10,000 rupees checks to XYZ, 15,000 rupees check to ABC, and my account have 50,000 rupees. Okay, but due to certain reasons I had to withdraw 40,000 rupees today, and today itself the person to whom I gave a 15,000 rupees check came to withdraw money. Understand, what was the financial position of my account? 50,000 rupees. What was the financial position of my account? 50,000 rupees. But I withdrew 40,000 rupees. What is the balance in my account? 10,000 rupees. Now, ABC came to the bank with a check of 15,000 rupees to withdraw money from my current account. But do my bank account have 15,000 rupees? No, it have only 10,000 rupees. So this extra 5,000 rupees above zero balance is given by the bank as an overdraft facility to me, because I am a regular current account holder of this bank, so that my goodwill does not get affected, so that people does not if bank does not provide overdraft facility, the check will be bounced and ABC will come back and throw the check on my face and say, what check you have given to me, you don't have enough money. So in order to avoid all this, in order to maintain goodwill of the current account holder of the business, the bank provides overdraft facility, and the above the 5,000 rupees that the bank gave me or my customer is the overdraft amount. So if a person is allowed to withdraw money above zero balance account, it is called as overdraft facility. When I had 10,000 rupees and I withdrew 15,000 rupees, that means I withdrew 5,000 rupees extra. That was overdraft facility given to me by my bank, and interest will be charged only on this 5,000 rupees. There is no requirement of maintaining a separate account as CC. This amount or entries will be shown in my current account only. It is a temporary arrangement for a short period of time. Tomorrow if I'll go to the bank and deposit 15,000 rupees, first the bank will cut 5,000 rupees of overdraft, and now the balance of my account will be again 10,000 rupees. Understood? So these were the types of granting loans and advances. Loans are of three types: short, medium and long. Short varies from up to 1 year, medium varies from 1 to 5 years, and long term loans means above 5 years. And advances are of three types: cash credit, overdraft and discounting of bill of exchange. Hope I have made it clear. Thank you so much.